together to keep our transit system safe. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Report suspicious activity to 1-888-TIPS-NJT or text your report to NJT. 28 traffic and weather together on 8. Here's Andre Carroll.
Let's go to Staten Island. Westbound delays continue over by exit 6 at Victory Boulevard. That crash still being worked on. It's a long stretch of delays there. There's even some eastbound problems as well. The crossings are okay, though, here. Right over the Verrazano looks pretty good, except for the Belt Parkway ramp delays. You have a good ride at the Gobles, Attlebridge, and Bayonne. Now, if you're using the Lincoln and Holland Tunnel, if you're trying to get back into New Jersey, I would go with the Lincoln over the Holland. You're looking at least an extra 15 to 20. Local streets in Manhattan are starting to increase as well, trying to get into the Holland Tunnel. Now, if you're using the George Washington Bridge, look at least 15 to 20 inbound. Outbound delays are severe. All the approaches are bad. The Harlem River Drive, northbound, just north of the McClunes Dam Bridge, there's a crash there. Plus, you have the West Side Highway all backed up now, heading northbound. And southbound Deegan, the usual suspect from Van Cortlandt Park down to the George. Go with the Whitestone and Frogs Neck bridges if you're entering Queens. The RFK is a little slow, passing Steinway Street on the eastbound Grand Central Parkway. Our next traffic update in less than 10 minutes. Now the forecast from the WCBS Weather Center.
It'll be windy and mild the rest of this afternoon. A few showers around, the high near 60. Then for tonight, it turns very windy. Periods of heavy rain, even a thunderstorm move through the tri-state area. There could be localized flooding and power outages with strong wind gusts. Temperature steady in the upper 50s. Then for the balance of Christmas Day on Friday, it will be cloudy, windy, and turning sharply colder. A shower can linger. Temperatures falling into the 40s by Christmas afternoon. Then on Saturday, sunshine, brisk and cold. The high only 32. Right now in Midtown, 58 degrees, a cloudy sky, and we're heading up to near 60.
More than just the
New Jersey to the mix now, too. Aaron Katersky with the new rule from United Airlines.
Beginning Monday, all passengers aboard United flights from the UK will have to present proof of a negative COVID-19 test before departing for Newark Airport in New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy said it's meant to strengthen existing travel protocols as the UK discovers new variants of the virus. United said it will require a negative test for all passengers on flights from London to Newark, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and San Francisco. U.S.-bound passengers who connect in London from another country are exempt.
The CDC reports more than 4.5 million Americans have tested positive for the virus in the last 22 days. That makes December the worst month on record in terms of COVID-19 cases in the U.S. Yesterday, another 80 people died in New Jersey, another 129 in New York State. Meantime, the states work to roll out the COVID vaccine. Even less help now from the Trump Coronavirus Task Force. It's informed states that it will no longer proactively send them weekly reports that had included tailored data and recommendations. They started doing that when the second wave hit. So far, no official word from the White House why the change was made. Looks like the president's conspiracy theories are going to get him sued. We'll have that coming up. Wins News Time 2:31. First traffic and transit. Here's Jody Vale.
And Susan, let's go to Long Island. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. The LIEs just stop and go. Northern states, 2 in eastbound. This is from the Queens line into New Hyde Park Road. Eastbound Southern State is a mess. It's pretty slow from Hempstead Avenue all the way to the Montauk. Meadowbrook, that looks busy near Old Country Road and the area near the mall holiday shoppers. Same stitch, Route 110 in Huntington near Walt Whitman. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels at the George. Outbound, it's 20 to 25. Seeing delays from the Cross Bronx on the 1010 Winds Jam Cam. Inbound at the George, about 15 to 20. In and out the Lincoln, just seeing some minor delays. Outbound Holland is up to 15 to 20. Getting out of town Christmas Eve in Manhattan is not easy. There are big-time delays. West Side Highway, Harlem River Drive, up to the bridge, and the FDR is just a mess both ways. Roadwork not helping. Traffic sponsored by Burlington stores. Get your gifts for less in Burlington. Find wow deals on toys, beauty, and accessories for her. Text and active for him. Plus, baby's first Christmas, all up to 60% off other retailers' prices. Burlington, love the deals. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the one. Breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Jody Vale on 1010 Winds.
Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather Exergen 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Well, just very mild conditions here the rest of the afternoon with the wind picking up and a little more than a spotty shower, bit of drizzle. But we're going to get into some steadier rain as we get into the evening hours, and that's going to continue much of the time all night and into Christmas morning before it ends. And that rain will be heavy at times, causing flooding. Well, the wind is also going to get to be very strong during the middle of the night, getting gusts of 50 to perhaps 70 miles an hour, causing scattered power outages. and temperatures actually staying well up into the 50s through the night. But later on tomorrow morning, the wind does back down. Still kind of windy, but nothing like 50 to 70. And it'll be turning colder with the clouds breaking for some sun and temperatures falling into the 40s. We're at 58 in Central Park, cloudy with a southeast wind at 18. Repeating the current temperature at 58 and going up to 60 in Midtown. I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on New York's weather station 1010 Winds.
Hear how the best minds in business really work with the Boardroom Out of Office podcast, hosted by Rich Kleiman, Kevin Durant's 35 Ventures business partner. Industry leaders talk about who they are, how they got here, and things they learned along the way you might not expect. Listen on radio.com and Apple Podcasts.
Wednesday news time 2:34. Looks like Donald Trump's going to be sued again, this time by Dominion Voting Systems for promoting conspiracy theories about voter fraud during the election. Dominion CEO John Poulos on CNN's New Day.
I'm the only one that has testified under oath on any of these matters. So it's just forced our hand. So we fully expect that none of them will be retracting their statements. So it forces our hand to file action.
Following the president's loss to Joe Biden, he and his lawyers pushed baseless allegations that Dominion's voting machines had been manipulated to either delete votes for Donald Trump or to change votes in Joe Biden's favor. On Tuesday, a defamation law firm representing Dominion sent letters to both Rudy Giuliani and the White House counsel saying legal action was imminent and instructing them to preserve all records related to the company. President Trump wielded the pardon pen Wednesday for another 26 people, including a family member.
On the new list of those now pardoned or granted clemency, Charles Kushner, a real estate developer who pleaded guilty to tax evasion, witness tampering, and making illegal campaign contributions in 2005. Kushner's son Jared is a White House advisor and married to Trump's daughter Ivanka. And two more Trump confidants convicted and ordered to jail in the Russia probe. Former campaign chairman Paul Manafort and close friend Roger Stone, whose prison sentence had already been commuted by the White House. Observers say the president's using the power of his office to dismantle the results of special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, having pardoned another campaign associate Tuesday. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
And while most Republicans stayed silent, Ben Sass of Nebraska called the pardons, quote, rotten to the core. Meantime, survivors of the 2007 Blackwater massacre in Iraq are slamming the president's pardoning of 4 private contractors convicted in the murder of more than a dozen Iraqi civilians. Some have suggested the U.S. extradite the 4 for trial in Iraq, but it's not clear if there would be grounds to charge them. That's because under an order from the Iraqi government at the time, the contractors were not subject to Iraqi law. While he granted dozens of pardons and clemency, the president also vetoed a massive $740 billion defense spending bill. But that may not stick. When the House returns Monday, they may consider an override, with the Senate following on Tuesday. As for why he vetoed it, he had previously called on lawmakers to remove language that allows for military bases named for Confederate leaders to be renamed. He also wanted language included that would place restrictions on social media companies that he claims are biased against him. 58 degrees now. It's cloudy. We're headed up to 60 with a very, very heavy rainstorm tonight. Wednesday news time 2:37.
You've been putting back a few. A few becomes a few too many. For a moment you think of calling for a ride, but nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that could happen? You get pulled over. Your insurance goes up. You lose your license. You total your car. You kill someone. The result of driving drunk or tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, New York City. Everybody knows there are things in life that make total sense, like switching to Geico. They're the largest auto insurer in the state, and they've been saving people money for over 75 years.
Other things make no sense, like glitter. It's fun for 5 seconds, but then haunts you for the next 5 years.
However, it makes total sense to bundle your home and car insurance with Geico. You could save a lot, and they can insure your motorcycle, boat, and RV.
Internet convenience fees, however, make no sense. I would wager that buying my concert ticket online is convenient for both you and me. So why are you charging me for it?
On the other hand, it still makes sense to switch to Geico. They have an industry-leading mobile app you can use to pay your bill, file and manage a claim, or add a new driver. And emergency roadside service could help you get out of a pinch.
Conversely, the intense pain a stubbed toe causes makes no sense. Why do our toes overreact like that?
So, New York City, it makes sense to switch to Geico, online, over the phone, or with your local agent.
Wins News Time 2:38. In 1010 Wins Entertainment, a former Survivor contestant is in trouble with the law.
Johnny Fairplay competed on Survivor in 2003, but he didn't get headlines for his skills in the wild, but for orchestrating a lie that his grandmother had died. Now there's more family drama resulting in him facing grand larceny charges in Virginia. Authorities in Pittsylvania County have charged him with the disappearance of a silver necklace and furniture from a residence. Fairplay's mom is also charged in the case. Authorities say Fairplay's aunt filed the complaint. In a statement to the Associated Press, Fairplay says he and his mom are being unjustly charged. I'm Oscar Rose Gabriel.
Wins News Time 2:39.
Are you disabled and in need of your Social Security disability benefits right now? The law firm of D'Agostino and Associates can help you get through the process. They handle initial applications and appeals. Let D'Agostino and Associates get you the Social Security disability benefits you've earned all these years. Call now, 888-24-LAW-24. If you're unable to work and need Social Security disability benefits right now, call D'Agostino and Associates at 888-24-LAW-24. It's your money. D'Agostino and Associates has been helping the injured for over 30 years. If you can't make it to them, they'll come to you. The law firm of D'Agostino and Associates has offices in New York and New Jersey. Call now, 888-24-LAW-24. Your Social Security disability benefits are waiting for you. Call now, 888-24-LAW-24. That's 888-24-LAW-24. Get your Social Security disability benefits when you need them most.
Download the radio.com app and favorite 1010 Wins today.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon, 58 degrees. It is 2:40. I'm Susan Richard, and here's what's happening. Christmas Eve is going to be a stormy one. We'll check in live with AccuWeather. House Republicans reject Donald Trump's demand to up the stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000. Ahead of this winter break, virus infections forced the closure of 272 New York City school buildings. And on the agenda today for Joe and Jill Biden, little singing.
Happy birthday, Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Anthony Fauci turns 80. 1010 Wins AccuWeather. Drizzle around today, then very heavy wind and rain tonight.
This is Andrew O'Day of Bloomberg. Modest advance for Wall Street ahead of an early closing bell, helped by the big Brexit agreement in Europe. Dow rose 70.
Wins News Time 2:41. Let's get traffic and transit. Here's Jody Vale.
Susan, not a silent night on the roadways. New Jersey, crowd 78 local lanes westbound. This is right near exit 51 Burnett Avenue. Union that has the left lane closed and delays are piling up. Garden State Parkway is also slow, northbound between Route 78 and 280. Staten Island Expressway, crawling, crash cleared at Victory Boulevard, but it is still a tough ride. 440 is not that bad to the outer bridge. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels at the George. Outbound is 20 to 25. We have delays from the Cross Bronx. At the George, inbound is about 15 to 20. In and out the Lincoln, just seeing minor delays. Inbound Holland is okay, but the outbound is 15 to 20. In Manhattan, West Side, East Side, no easy way on Christmas Eve. There are delays on West Side Highway and Harlem River Drive up to the bridge. And the FDR, well, that's just a mess northbound from the East 20s up to Harlem River Drive, and road work is definitely not helping. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the ones, breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Jody Vale on 1010 Wins.
Calm this afternoon ahead of a stormy Christmas Eve. Let's get details live from 1010 Wins AccuWeather meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Well, it certainly will be here, Susan. It's a powerful front that's coming through here very late tonight. The rain will be breaking out during the evening hours. It will become steadier and heavier as the night wears on. The height of the storm actually during the early morning hours. So not only do we have to watch for flooding and ponding on the roadways, we also have howling winds during that stretch, which can cause tree and power line damage, likely to. We'll get some gusts as high as 60, even 70 miles an hour, especially along the South Shore. So just a very, very stormy start to Christmas Day. Things will calm down a bit later on in the morning. The winds will back down and the rain ends, but it's going to be very challenging conditions during the middle of the night. Susan?
Yeah, PSEG Long Island already warning that power restoration could take through the weekend. 1010 Wins is here 24/7, so you know the drill. Stay with us and we'll bring you the very latest. President Trump's demand to hike the stimulus checks from $600 to $2,000 is apparently dead on arrival on Capitol Hill. In fact, House Republicans today sent the president a very clear message, rejecting an amendment by Democrats to change the already approved $900 billion package. Their vote was by unanimous consent. House Majority Leader Democrat Steny Hoyer says while they agree that the check should be larger, Donald Trump needs to sign the measure as is.
We sent the bill to President Trump to sign, and only then, after we agreed on a figure we thought was too low for direct payments to families and children, $600, but the Republicans would not take a higher figure, only then did the President of the United States indicate that $600 was not enough.
Meantime, it's not just the stimulus checks that could be stalled. The president's objection also threatens a government shutdown, and so House Democrats are said to be working on yet another stopgap measure to deal with that. As for the GOP, while leaders were silent on the president's move, on a private conference call yesterday, lawmakers reportedly said that the president had thrown them under the bus. The winter break is not the only reason city public schools are closing temporarily. COVID infections have hit 272 city school buildings. That includes 230 closing for 2 weeks and 43 for day-long investigations. Under Department of Education rules, city schools close for 24 hours when 2 or more cases are reported in a 7-day period. If contact tracers cannot find a link between the infections, the school is then shut down for 2 weeks. Currently, in-person learning is taking place at 878 schools in the city, 2,000 preschools, and 400 city-funded child care centers. New Jersey is reporting another 31 infections at 7 schools over the past week, bringing the total number to 459 students and staffers infected since schools reopened in the Garden State in late August. The latest outbreaks are in Atlantic, Bergen, Monmouth, Ocean, and Salem counties. Overall, though, the rate of transmission in schools compared to the rest of the state is very low, less than 0.2% of cases. Cloudy skies up to 58 degrees, believe it or not. We're headed down to 55, but we have this very heavy rainstorm on the way. When's news time? 2:45 on this Christmas. COVID plays Scrooge, but they've got some good news across the pond. We'll have that coming up.
With the holiday season upon us, the New Jersey Transit Police Department reminds you that we all need to work together to keep our transit system safe. Your attention is our most valuable asset. If you ride the train or bus, if you live or work near a station, be alert and aware of your surroundings. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Report suspicious activity to 1-888-TIPS-NJT or text your report to NJTPD. New Jersey Transit urges you to help us keep our transit system safe. Report suspicious activity to 1-888-TIPS-NJT or text your report to NJTPD.
New Yorkers have come together to fight COVID-19. What's next? To keep reducing the spread, we all need to get tested for COVID-19 often, even if we have no symptoms. Why get tested often? Because regular testing can identify infection sooner and help prevent spreading the virus to family, friends, neighbors, and coworkers. Testing is safe, confidential, and at no cost to you. To find a testing site near you, visit nyc.gov/COVID-test or call the NYC Test and Trace Corps hotline at 212-COVID-19. Get tested today.
Investors want high cash flow with appreciation? The Federal Reserve is boosting real estate markets with super low interest rates. And where we build, it's booming. There's an old saying, don't fight the Fed with your investments. Founded in 2006 with a 15-year track record, NRIA gives you steady cash flow backed by $1.2 billion of new construction development. NRIA provides reliable 10% return electronic payments monthly of passive income, tax-deferred, plus upside bonuses to 21% annually as we sell out. You're inflation protected with large apartment buildings and diversified in 18 prime developments, avoiding stock market risk. Do the math with us. Don't fight the Fed, flow with the Fed. Call 201-210-2727. 201-210-2727. That's 201-210-2727. An offer to buy or sell any security is only made by our private placement memorandum. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Returns are annualized. National is a real estate development firm. See us at nria.net.
When's news time at 2:47 on this Christmas Eve. The pandemic is casting a shadow over celebrations around the world, including in the little town at the center of the holiday. Here's correspondent Robert Berger.
Bells are ringing at the Church of the Nativity, but the faithful are not coming to Bethlehem. Manger Square would normally be bustling with thousands of pilgrims on Christmas Eve, but coronavirus restrictions have crushed tourism and shops and hotels are closed. Midnight Mass at Jesus' traditional birthplace will be closed to the public.
In addition to Israel's international airport being closed to foreigners, last week the Palestinian Authority banned intercity travel in the areas it administers in the West Bank, keeping even Palestinian visitors away. Some good news in the Brexit drama. The UK and European Union have now reached a provisional post-Brexit trade deal, averting a chaotic split come the new year. Tom Rivers with details in London.
It was lengthy, it was frustrating, and it produced its share of dead ends along the way. But with the clock winding down, an 11th hour deal, an agreement Prime Minister Boris Johnson calls
a deal that will protect jobs across this country. A deal that will allow goods, UK goods and components to be sold without tariffs and without quotas in the EU market.
The size of the deal, the biggest one ever struck by Britain. Half of all UK exports go to the 27 EU member states.
Britain's parliament still needs to sign off with a vote next month. Trucks inched slowly past checkpoints in Dover, England, and headed across the Channel to France today. This is after the French government partially reopened its borders following a scare over the rapidly spreading new strain of the virus. Most drivers, however, remain trapped in massive gridlock, including this guy, who says no one's telling them anything.
They have no information. They need information. The people need to be patient if they have information. No information, maybe, I don't know, they get worried.
Paris and London agreed late Tuesday that drivers carrying a negative COVID test result could board ferries for Calais. Problem is, drivers say they can't get tested if they're stuck in traffic at the terminal. Emmanuel Macron's doing much better. Officials in France say the French president's no longer showing symptoms of COVID-19 and will end his isolation after 7 days. He tested positive December 17th after developing a fever, cough, and fatigue. Macron has been working from home. How he contracted the virus is still not clear. The comment from the hospital, we can't comment. That was about Dr. Susan Moore, a 52-year-old physician who passed from COVID-19 just days ago. Dr. Moore, an African-American, had documented on Facebook what she said was mistreatment by hospital staff at Indiana University Health Hospital because of her race. That included not being given medication in a timely fashion and pleas to the patient advocate going ignored. The final video was on December 4th when she says the hospital had tried to send her home.
This is how black people get killed. When you send them home and they don't know how to fight for themselves. I had to talk to somebody, maybe the media, somebody, to let people know how I'm being treated up in this place.
In a statement, the hospital said it cannot comment on a specific patient, but takes accusations of discrimination very seriously and investigates every allegation. Wins News Time 2:51. Let's get traffic and transit. Here's Jody Vale.
Yeah, let's head to Brooklyn and Queens, Susan. Bell Parkway both ways, just crawling, especially westbound. Got a crash approaching Coney Island Avenue. Grand Central and the LIEs also stop and go both ways. Inbound Gowanus, we're seeing delays to the BQE and up to the crossings. Cross Island, you have slowdowns off the bridge to the LIE, and the Van Wyck is getting slammed into the Grand Central. Here's what we see on Long Island's Big 3. LIE looks like the best roadway right now. Northern states just stop and go eastbound from the Queens Line into New Hyde Park Road, and the eastbound Southern State is pretty much slow from Hempstead Avenue into the Wantagh. Meadowbrook, that is busy both ways near Old Country Road and the area near the mall. Same with Route 110 in Huntington near Walt Whitman. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. At the George outbound, it's 20 to 25. Seeing delays from the Cross Bronx inbound, it's 15 to 20. In and out for Lincoln, just some minor delays. Outbound Holland is 15 to 20. There are delays in Manhattan. There's no easy way to go into Christmas Eve. And West Side Highway, Harlem River Drive, FDR, it's just slow today. And traffic sponsored by Northfield Bank. I'm Jody Dale. Our next report at 3:01 on 1010 Wins.
Northfield Bank would like to wish you and your family a happy holiday season. Northfield has been providing innovative financial products and exceptional customer service since 1887. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year from your friends at Northfield Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now the 1010 Winds AccuWeather Exergen 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Well, we are going to be getting into quite a storm here this evening as rain develops and becomes heavy at times overnight, and that'll linger into early Christmas morning. Also during the nighttime hours, the wind gets to be quite powerful, especially say from around midnight up until daybreak. We can get some winds gusting as high as 50 to 70 miles an hour, and that is likely to cause some power outages around the region. Temperatures are going to be staying in the balmy 50s, but when the rain ends during the morning hours, the wind will also be backing down, but it does turn colder as the day wears on. Cloudy to partly sunny, with temperatures falling into the 40s. We're at 58 in Central Park with a cloudy sky, and that temperature will be hanging in the mid and upper 50s in Midtown tonight. I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers from New York's weather station 10 Midwinds.
News Time 2:53. So if today is your birthday, you celebrate with Dr. Anthony Fauci. And it's a big one for the nation's top infectious disease expert. He turns 80 today. To mark the occasion, Washington, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser has proclaimed today Dr. Anthony S. Fauci Day. And not only that, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dr. Fauci. Happy birthday to you. Hey, pal, happy birthday to Biden. Washington, D.C. since 1977. A hometown hero.
Booked her home for a toy drive.
Then others came and started helping me. They bought me, they energized me.
Shantavia Miller got some of the more than 1,000 gifts Big Mama gave out.
I just think it's a blessing, especially during this pandemic time.
It was an important lesson in giving for the little ones.
A lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people are struggling, so I think it's good for Big Mama to be helping people out like this.
In a time people certainly could use the boost and holiday cheer.
Correspondent Lionel Moyes. Cloudy skies, 58 degrees, the humidity 72%, winds variable at 5, gusting to 23, 58 going down to 55, and we're bracing for some very heavy rain. Winds news time 2:55. Cancer care can't wait. There are things that can, but screening and treatment for cancer isn't one of them. I'm Dr. Lisa DeAngelis, Physician-in-Chief of Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. If you or someone you know has symptoms or has been diagnosed with cancer, please don't wait. Call us at 855-MSK-0222. Memorial Sloan Kettering. We're always here and always will be.
Excitement awaits at Chase 58 Casino Hotel, just off the LIE exit 58. Long Island's only casino is closer than you think. Come experience the thrill. Play it safe. Win big. The Clean Team has all your hot slots clean and safe for you. Bring your friends. Grab a Lucky North Club card to build your points for an exciting journey at the hottest spot on the island at Chase 58 Casino Hotel. Open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. For more information or to reserve your room today, visit chase58.com. Must be 18 to enter the casino and hotel. Gambling problems? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY.
That Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins, sponsored by Isaac Abraham Traffic Attorney, and here's Andrew O'Day.
It's hip to be Square. For its next big business move, global payment company Square appears to be looking into a possible expansion into music. Bloomberg reports Square has held talks to acquire the Tidal music streaming service that right now is owned by Jay-Z and other artists. Tidal has been around for 6 years, but has failed to fully keep up with other services such as Spotify and Apple Music. Stocks rose modestly today. In abbreviated trading, the Dow gained 70, NASDAQ up 34, S&P 500 up 13. As the market weighed in on, finally, a post-Brexit trade deal between the UK and European Union, but also on increasingly uncertain prospects for U.S. pandemic relief following the president's call to change the terms. Airbus wants to build a new narrow-body jetliner, and it's been asking engine makers for their ideas. General Electric has drawn up a proposal. Bloomberg has learned GE and Airbus have been holding talks about a new geared engine design for a next-generation plane. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 1010 Wins.
It absolutely matters who your lawyer is when you need to find a New York State traffic ticket. The law office of Isaac Abraham Traffic Attorney has a single mission: to provide the highest level of law services. Isaac Abraham handles speeding tickets, adult and child seatbelt tickets, cell phone tickets, tailgating tickets, reckless driving, drunk driving, DUI, DWI, and all other New York State traffic tickets. Call now, 646-499-3131, 646-499-3131. Isaac Abraham Traffic Attorney charges a flat fee. There are never any hidden fees or hourly charges. The law office of Isaac Abraham Traffic Attorney saves you the hassle of having to go to court. He'll appear on your behalf and aggressively fight your ticket, representing you for a flat fee. If you have a New York State traffic violation, call now, 646-499-3131, 646-499-3131, or visit nystrafficviolations.com. Do not risk points or losing your license. Past performance does not guarantee future success.
This is an attorney advertisement.
I love my family. They're funny, sweet, smart, even smell nice. But I hate holiday shopping to them. But ho, 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 not anymore. Because I discovered the perfect holiday gift for my entire family. Skechers. Skechers have affordable, comfortable shoes that will make checking off your gift list easy as pumpkin pie. The kids go crazy for them. Their shoes are widely sparkle, shoes that slip on and off, shoes that look cool. Forget about toys this year. Skechers are just as fun and no assembly required. And they're not just for kids. Adults love them too. They've got cozy slippers, comfy winter boots, sneakers for walking, running, outdoors, exercise, and all sorts of work footwear. Or if you're lucky enough to play golf, yep, Skechers has those too. And they all have the exclusive fits and features your family will love. They've got relax fit, wide fit, stretch fit, arch fit, and even max cushioning that feels like you're walking on clouds. Plus they come with Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam for ultimate comfort. And the machine washable. So this year give Skechers to everyone. Find them at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
WINS, WINS-HD, WHT3 New York.
A radio.com station.
Winds news time 2:59. 10:10 winds AccuWeather. High wind warning kicks in at 6 tonight and runs through 10 tomorrow morning. Clouding up tonight. Very heavy rain. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm could cause flooding. Winds gusting to 70 miles an hour. We could see some power outages. And then for Christmas Day, the clouds break for some sun. Still the chance for a shower. The temperature falling through the 40s. 58 and cloudy now. The winds are gusting to 23 miles per hour. And 10 winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Katie Murnane's our studio producer. Zach Newman is the service aide. Kyle McMorrow is at the editor's desk. I'm Susan Richard.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 58 degrees at 3 o'clock. I'm Larry Cantor, and here's what's happening. It's going to be a long, stormy night heading into Christmas Day. We'll get a live update from AccuWeather. United joins other airlines in requiring a negative COVID test on flights from London to New York. A new bot critiques the music you listen to. 10:10 winds, AccuWeather, lots of rain and wind tonight, temperatures in the 50s.
This is Andrew O'Day of Bloomberg. Typically quiet, just over half day of trading on Wall Street this Christmas Eve. Indexes rose, the Dow up 70, NASDAQ up 34 to almost a record.
Winds news time 3:01. From the 10:10 winds traffic center, here's Jody Vale.
Hey Larry, the rush home for Christmas Eve is starting up big time. Brooklyn and Queens belt is crawling both ways, especially westbound. We have that multi-car crash, 56 cars approaching Coney Island Avenue. Thanks to 1010 Winds listener Cindy for that tip. If you see something on the roads, call the 1010 Winds traffic tip line 844-JAM-1010. Grand Central, LAE, they are crawling too, especially from the BQ8 to the Nassau line. In Belgoanis, we're seeing delays to the BQ8. Cross Island is just slow off the bridge to the LIE, Van Wyck into the Grand Central. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big Three. The LIE, Northern, they're both slow through Nassau County, but not as slow as the eastbound Southern State from Hempstead Avenue into the Wonton. The Meadowbrook, that's busy near Old Country Road in the area near the mall for last-minute shoppers. Same with Route 110 in Huntington near Walt Whitman. And here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. At the George outbound, it's 20 to 25. Inbound, 15 to 20. In and out the Lincoln, minor delays. Outbound Holland, 15 to 20. FDR's real mess in Manhattan on the east side. Northbound from the East 20s up to Harlem River Drive. Both Harlem River Drive, West Side Highway slow to the bridge. Traffic and transit every 10 minutes on the one. Breaking traffic alerts whenever they happen. I'm Jody Vale on 1010 Winds.
Get $100 free heating oil now when you switch to Petro Home Services. Your home this winter. Save more with low oil and propane prices. Get your $100 free heating oil now. Call 1-888-PETRO-02 or text HEAT to 313131 today.
Santa will certainly need his rain gear when he passes through the tri-state tonight. Let's get the latest from AccuWeather and meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Yeah, he'll certainly need that too, yeah. And the wind is going to rock as well, Larry. This is a powerful front that's coming through with a storm developing along the boundary, but the combination is going to make for some very heavy rain during the late night hours especially and into early Christmas morning. And it's also during that stretch, say, between midnight and 7, 8 a.m. That we'll get some of the strongest winds gusting to 50 to 70 miles an hour, likely to be causing some power outages with downed trees. Larry?
Right now, 58 degrees, skies are cloudy. COVID relief is still up in the air. A move in the House today calling for unanimous consent on a proposal to replace $600 relief checks with ones totaling $2,000 didn't get off the ground. Majority Leader Steny Hoyer says the Republicans blocked it.
House Republicans rejected the unanimous consent request, blocking that increase, though, sought by Democrats and now also by President Trump.
Before leaving Washington yesterday, the president called out Congress for not supplying greater monetary relief in its $908 billion bill, even though his own administration was involved in the long negotiations on that measure. Now, Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she will bring up the $2,000 check proposal for a full recorded vote on Monday. Expect service cuts from the MTA, maybe not immediately, but down the road. Moody's credit agency has run the numbers and says that even if the MTA gets a $4 billion injection of money from the pandemic relief package, that would only make the 2021 budget work, and just barely. And it's certainly not enough to prevent calamity down the line. If the economy remains weak in the coming years and ridership low, there could be massive budget gaps by 2024. MTA officials have already warned that $4 billion from the feds is only enough to stave off layoffs and cuts in the short term. 3 airlines met Governor Cuomo's demand this week to require a negative COVID test before boarding passengers from London JFK. And now United Airlines has agreed to do the same thing on its flights from London to Newark. Flyers must present proof of a negative test within 72 hours of departure. Rapid tests are permitted. The concern about the UK is the new coronavirus strain there that is more easily transmitted. A small glimmer of good news about COVID today. 2 new medical studies suggest that people who get the virus once are very unlikely to test positive again for up to 6 months and maybe longer. It's unclear if antibodies themselves offer protection or if other parts of the immune system are able to fight off new exposures to the virus. However, people still need to protect themselves since it is unclear how long immunity may last. Although more than 1 million people passed through the TSA checkpoints yesterday, most of those who were traveling this holiday are doing so by car. Our Samantha Liebman spoke this morning with some people on the New Jersey Turnpike.
The Vince Lombardi rest stop not as busy as it usually is for a holiday, but still people like Carlos driving from Massachusetts to family in Philly. He says only 10 people will be there, and they're careful.
I did my test before I came, so I think it should be okay. I don't think that's going to be a problem. As long as we respect about how many people should be all together, and so you can go from that. Enjoy, everybody together.
This as officials have been pleading with people not to mix households for the holidays, a negative test result being no guarantee of safety. Greg from Rockville Center is staying home, just driving home from work. He's having his 3 grown children over, but he says he's not concerned.
My kids are more paranoid than I am.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the millennial generation, but my kids especially, they just stay at home, they don't do anything.
Samantha Liebman, 1010 Wins in Bridgefield, New Jersey.
A vicious beating on the subway is being investigated as a hate crime. A 32-year-old woman was attacked by a half-dozen people who repeatedly punched her while hurling anti-Asian comments. It happened last Thursday on a southbound A train near the West 4th Street Washington Square station in Greenwich Village. A group apparently got into an argument with the woman because she wasn't wearing a face mask. The woman was bruised, but is expected to be okay. Police released photos of 3 women and a man that they believe were involved in the attack. You can see them at 1010wins.com. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 800-577. A New Jersey man is facing murder charges in the death of his infant daughter. 27-year-old Raul Torres was arrested on Tuesday in North Bergen. In February, 4-month-old Talisa Torres was rushed to the City Medical Center unresponsive and not breathing. She had bruising on her forehead and a partial skull fracture and internal bleeding. The little girl died of traumatic brain injuries 3 weeks later. A court in Pakistan has ordered the immediate release of the man charged in the brutal murder of American journalist Daniel Pearl in 2002. Ahmed Omar Saeed Sheikh was sentenced to death in 2020 for masterminding Pearl's murder, but the conviction was overturned this year. The Pakistani government put to keep him behind bars while Pearl's family appealed. In 2007, U.S. officials said Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, a key organizer of the 9/11 attacks, who's being held at Guantanamo Bay, confessed to personally beheading Pearl. WINS News Time 3:09.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
The need has always been there. The need for food, shelter, compassion. This year, it just happens to be greater. If you need help, please reach out. If you can give help, please reach within. In a year with fewer red kettles, your $25 monthly donation helps rescue Christmas for the most vulnerable. Enlist in Love's Army at GiveWestwood.org. Today, every business is digital. From website development to third-party integration, AmericanEagle.com delivers innovative web design, development, and digital solutions, driving business growth for their clients. AmericanEagle.com's work for Dairy Queen, one of the world's most iconic brands, consisted of building a website and digital portal for thousands of global franchises and stores. One of their goals was to build an enterprise portal to serve as a valuable company-wide communication tool, providing access to product information, marketing programs, and operations workflow. This digital program is instrumental in streamlining Dairy Queen's global operations with a platform enhancing their stores' productivity. AmericanEagle.com, providing website design and development to enterprise portal solutions. When your business needs to think more digital, talk to AmericanEagle.com, building your digital mindset. Call AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEB-NOW1 or visit AmericanEagle.com.
WINS News Time 11. From the 1010 WINS Traffic Center, here's Jody Bale.
Hi, Larry. Let's go over to New Jersey. Getting slammed with a crash on the Garden State Parkway southbound. This is near exit 155. You can say at least the right lane is blocked. Then we're seeing a crash 78 in the local lanes westbound. This is near Ferdinand Ave Expressway both ways. But we have a crash cleared to Victory Boulevard. Still a tough ride. Expect Brooklyn bound Verrazano delays. We've got a crash on the eastbound belt parking in Brooklyn at Coney Island Avenue. It's not helping things. 440 on Staten Island, not bad to the outer bridge. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. At the George outbound, it's 20 to 25 delays from the Cross Bronx. George inbound, 15 to 20. In and out at the Lincoln, we're looking at minor delays. Outbound Holland is 15 to 20. Manhattan, west side, east side, there is no easy way to go. West Side Highway is crawling up to the bridge, and so is Harlem River Drive. And the FDR, well, that's just a mess as you make your way from the East 20s all the way up to Harlem River Drive. And traffic sponsored by your local Lexus dealer. This year, our driveways were a place to celebrate. Celebrate this season at the Lexus December to Remember sales event. Offers available now through January 4th. Lexus, exclusive. See your local Lexus or go to Lexus.com for more info. I'm Jody Dale. Our next report at 3:21 on 1010 WINS.
Now the Oxygen AccuWeather 4-day forecast sponsored by NJCleanEnergy.com. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
All right, Larry, it's going to turn into a stormy night here. A high wind warning will go into effect at 6 p.m. That runs until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we will also have a flood watch in effect. The culprit here is a developing storm over western portions of Virginia, which will cut up through Pennsylvania into New York State and drag a strong cold front toward us. So we'll notice the wind continuing to increase here tonight. We'll get into some steadier rain, and that'll continue heavy at times late tonight and up until probably around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The strongest winds very late tonight and early tomorrow morning as well, gusting 50 to 70 miles an hour, causing power outages. Temperatures will stay in the 50s, and then the balance of not as windy. We'd still use the word blustery to describe it. It'll be turning colder. Clouds breaks the sun. Temperatures falling into the 40s, and then sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. 58 degrees and cloudy in Central Park. And temperatures will hold in the upper 50s in Midtown tonight. I'm meteorologist Dave Bowers on New York's weather station 10-day winds.
Winds news time 3:13.
From High Point to Cape May, Trenton to Toms River, people are seeing the benefits of clean energy. Through New Jersey's Clean Energy Program, they're finding ways to save money and make their homes and businesses more energy efficient, like saving hundreds of dollars with Energy Star appliance rebates or getting an energy assessment for their business. From how to save money to ways to save our planet, we're lighting the way to a clean energy future. Join in at njcleanenergy.com or call 1-866-NJ-SMART, 1-866-NJ-SMART.
I built this pickup at BP with Amoco Ultimate. We'll go up to 25 miles further per tank on the highway than with regular fuel.
Up to 25 miles?
Yep, we're gonna make it.
We're gonna make it.
I just said
We're gonna make it.
Drive up to 25 miles further per tank with Amoco Ultimate with Invigorate. Available at BP and Amoco stations. Based on median difference between 93 octane Amoco Ultimate and 87 octane minimum detergent E10 fuels and late model full-size half-ton pickup trucks with the EPA highway driving cycle. Assume 100% of fuel and tank will be used. Results will vary based on what you drive, how you drive, and other factors.
Hi, I'm Ross Salino. For decades, New Yorkers have trusted me when they've been seriously injured in a car accident. Because I won't settle until you get what you deserve. Focus on your health and family.
Winds news time 3:15. 26 new pardons from President Trump, including former campaign chairman Paul Manafort, longtime ally Roger Stone, and White House senior advisor Jared Kushner's father Charles. More from correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Paul Manafort, who served for a time as Donald Trump's campaign manager in 2016, was convicted of several counts of bank and tax fraud involving his work for pro-Russian forces in Ukraine. Roger Stone, a longtime friend and political advisor of Mr. Trump's, was charged with witness tampering in the Russia probe, along with lying to investigators. Charles Kushner, the father of the president's son-in-law, was convicted in 2005 of a litany of financial crimes, as well as witness tampering.
One of the lawyers in the Mueller investigation, Andrew Weissman, says these pardons are what you'd expect to get if you gave the pardon power to a mob boss. Before leaving for Florida, President Trump vetoed a bipartisan defense spending bill that passed with an overwhelming majority in both chambers. Correspondent Faith Abube in Washington says the move sets the stage for the president's first congressional override.
President Trump has been threatening for months now to veto this national defense bill, and even though it has overwhelming support, bipartisan support here on Capitol Hill. Now, President Trump not only objects to language in the bill that allows renaming military bases that honor Confederate leaders, but he's also claiming that this bill is a gift to Russia and China. Plus, Trump is now also calling for a new and unrelated provision to be added. It would end certain protections for social media companies.
The bill provides for a 3% pay raise for U.S. troops and authorizes more than $740 billion in military programs and construction. Pennsylvania's lieutenant governor wants his counterpart in Texas to pay up. Weeks after the presidential election, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick offered $1 million to anyone who could prove voter fraud in Pennsylvania. Well, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman says he has proof of a whopping 3 cases, 2 of which involve citizens casting multiple ballots for President Trump. By Fetterman's calculations, that means that Patrick should pay him $3 million. So far, no response from Texas officials. Remember the magic 8 ball? Well, this sounds like something similar. You don't ask it questions, you just listen to music.
Just how basic are you? Let your music choices answer that question. Technology website The Pudding is out with a bot that critiques your Spotify Wrapped list and spits out some judgy jabs at your listening habits. Jabs like, there's a reason nobody listens to the same stuff as you.
You can access the AI at your own risk.
That's correspondent Naomi Ruckham. Skies are cloudy. It's 58 degrees, wind and rain for tonight. Winds news time 3:19.
Free shipping is great. Free shipping, no minimum. That's the Walmart Plus magic for your holiday. Get all your last-minute shopping done with free next day or 2-day shipping on a huge selection of eligible items from Walmart.com. With no order minimum, free shipping means the freedom to click that order button to your heart's content. Just another added benefit to your membership. Maybe that's why it's called Walmart Plus. Start your 15-day free trial today at Walmart.com/plus. See membership details. Restrictions apply.
The spread of COVID-19 is still unchecked across the nation, and you need to keep your family safe. Make a new habit and check your temperatures twice a day, once before dinner and before leaving home in the morning. You can't afford to take chances, so use the Exogen Temporal Scanner. Its accuracy is backed by more than 80 clinical studies, and it takes an accurate reading in seconds. It's the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Quick and easy to use. You can count on Exogen to keep your family safe 24 hours a day.
You could be the world's fastest runner, life's greatest explorer, or be the king of your very own world.
Mine is the king forever.
All you have to do is go where the wild things are. Run, jump, laugh, and most of all, howl.
Hey, this guy gets it.
For fun playtime ideas, go to smallstep.gov and let your wild rumpus start. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
If you love us on the radio, like us on Facebook.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon. It's 58 degrees at 3:20. I'm Larry Cantor, and here's what's happening. We're going to get wet tonight, and anything not secured outside could be blown away. Get a live update from AccuWeather. An attempt to increase the amount of COVID relief checks hit some bump in the road. United Airlines agrees to require a negative COVID test for flights from London to Newark and other U.S. locations. Due to COVID, few people turn out to mark Christmas Eve in Bethlehem. 10-10 winds, AccuWeather, lots of rain and wind tonight, temperatures in the 50s.
This is Andrew O'Day at Bloomberg. Ahead of an early closing bell, stocks rose as traders cheered the UK's deal on Brexit finally struck despite no COVID relief deal stateside. Dow came 70.
Winds news time, 21 from 10-10 winds traffic center. Here's Jody Vale.
Hey Larry, let's head to Brooklyn and Queens. Bell Parkway is just crawling, especially westbound. We've got that multi-car crash approaching Coney Island Avenue being cleared, but yeah, those delays are going back all the way into Staten Island as you're making your way into the Brooklyn-bound Arizona Bridge. Then westbound Grand Central, we have a crash. It's actually stalled blocking the right lane, making the ride even slower. This is at 168th Street. And the LIE is also stop and go eastbound from the BQE to the Nassau line. Also slow on the inbound Gowanus to the BQE, out to the crossing. Cross Island off the bridge to the LIE. And the Van Ness is slammed into the Grand Central. And here's what we see on Long Island's Big Broadway. Here's what you need to know. Holland, just some minor delays as well. Al Belmo is 15 to 20. Connecticut Turnpike, northbound Connecticut Turnpike. It's pretty slow in Stamford. There are lots of delays in that area. I'm Jody Dale. Our next report at 3:31 on 1010 Wins.
Become an angel this Christmas. Help make a real change in a life through the gift of a Catholic education. To donate, visit futuresaneducation.org. That's futuresaneducation.org.
A storm is coming for Christmas Eve, but not of the snow variety. Let's get more from AccuWeather. Here's meteorologist Dave Bowers.
Yeah, that's right, Larry. Yeah, there will be some snow with this storm, but just not here. It's going to be over the Ohio Valley, western PA, and up in the western New York State. But not a white Christmas here, but we are going to have quite a storm. The intermittent rain will become steadier and heavier as we get deeper into the evening. The height of the storm is going to be during the middle of the night and up until about daybreak. And that's also when we're concerned about the winds gusting 50 to 70 miles an hour, causing some power outages. So Christmas morning is going to start dark for some folks. The rain and the wind will diminish early tomorrow morning. The rest of the day we will be drying out, but some very, very tumultuous weather here during the middle of the night. Larry?
Now it's cloudy and it's 58 degrees. Republicans in the House break with the president. You'll recall that President Trump left Washington without acting on the COVID relief bill passed by Congress. One of his complaints was that it only provided for $600 checks for Americans. The measure would be $2,000. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer introduced such legislation this morning. Next Monday, when New York City schools shut virus cases, the increase in temporary closures is a result of trying to keep school buildings open amid higher levels of community spread. He emphasized that there's still no evidence the virus is spreading. 105 school COVID-19 outbreaks involving 459 students and school staff since schools reopened in late August. New outbreaks are in Atlantic, Bergen, Monmouth, Ocean, and Salem counties. An investigation is underway into a deadly car crash in Westchester County. Two cars collided about 9:30 last night in Peekskill. One was apparently going the wrong way on Route 9. There was another fatal accident on the Garden State Parkway. It happened last night about 8:30 in Clifton. It involved multiple cars. In addition to one fatality, several people were hurt. Wednesday news time, 3:26. Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 wins. Here's Andrew O'Day.
It was an early closing bell for Wall Street this Christmas Eve. Stock indexes rose modestly on light trading as the market balanced the big Brexit trade deal in Europe with the COVID relief standoff in Washington. Dow rose 70. Nasdaq added 34 and fell just short of a new record. S&P 500 up 13. So-called Super Saturday wasn't so super, it turned out. Analytics firm Placer.ai says foot traffic fell an average 21% at the top 10 chains. Extensive delays at the have been pushing millions of Americans to shop inside stores today, something many had sworn they wouldn't do at all this holiday season. BMO Capital Markets says worry over presents not arriving on time and costing last-minute departures. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56.
Utopians take a moment to reflect on the many things in life to be thankful for.
This year has been very hard, but soon we will begin a new chapter. As 2020 comes to a close, all of us at 1010 Wins wish all of you a very merry, a very happy, and a very prosperous new year.
Happy holidays from the station you know, the people you trust. 1010 Wins.
So you can focus on your health and family.
WCBS News Time, 3:28. So what's going on now, Andre Farrell?
Let's go back to Staten Island. We've had lots of trouble on the Staten Island Expressway heading westbound, right around Victory Boulevard, just west of it, over by exit 6, so closer to like Richmond Avenue. You got a crash, still being worked on, and delays go almost all the way back to the Verrazano Bridge. That's how bad it's been. This eastbound rubber-necking delays as well. The ride over the outer bridge stop was a Bayonne bridges are moving okay, though. It's the Verrazano coming down, which is very heavy. You have lots of problems on the Bell Parkway. We had an incident over by Coney Island Avenue, still being worked on. So honestly, east and westbound delays. The westbound delays are horrible. From basically Ocean Parkway all the way back to the Queens border is going to be slow on that Bell Parkway. And then there's also eastbound delays that is right by Pennsylvania Avenue now. If you're heading over by possibly still heading close to Williamsburg, that remains a very busy ride. There's a northbound delay on the FDR, making your way up towards the Williamsburg Bridge. Just, I guess, crash, making that a lane. Brooklyn Bridge, Brooklyn bound is getting up as well. The FDR northbound right around 23rd Street all the way up towards the area of 72nd Street is going to be busy. And then more delays on the northbound Harvard Drive, just north of the Queensdam Bridge up to the Jordanville West Side Highway is getting crowded now with delays. You might have to go to Riverside Drive to avoid some of that action there, especially over by 135th Street. It gets really slow. Southbound Crosstown Parkway is slow from Bell down to Northern. Over to Clearview if you're going over the Brunswick into Queens. You're heavy on the eastbound route on Long Island, but three are pretty tough right now. The Southern, Northern, and LIE trying to get to the Medical Parkway is going to be slow. Lots of delays on the whole country road trying to get into the Philadelphia Mall onto the Medical now to forecast from the WCBS Weather Center.
Windy and mild the rest of this afternoon in into the early evening hours. A few showers around the tri-state area, but then later tonight, once we get past 9 to 10 p.m., we'll see periods of heavy rain, maybe even a thunderstorm, and it becomes very windy. Gusts as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour could cause some power outages tonight. There could be some localized flooding as well. Temperatures steady in the upper 50s. And tomorrow for Christmas Day, rain will taper off in the morning. Then cloudy, windy, sharply colder Christmas afternoon, maybe a lingering shower. Temperatures will be falling into the 40s. Partly cloudy and cold tomorrow night, below 25. Right now in Midtown, cloudy, 58 degrees. Temperatures holding nearly steady.
More than just the headlines. This is WCBS News Radio 880.
Got a big rainstorm coming our way. A high wind warning goes into effect at 6 o'clock tonight. We're talking about gusts maybe over 70 miles an hour along the shore. Power outages are a possibility. Up to 90% of America may need to be vaccinated against COVID-19 to achieve herd immunity, so says Dr. Anthony Fauci. United Airlines demands a negative COVID-19 test from passengers leaving the UK bound for the U.S. The new Moderna vaccine is administered at University Hospital in Newark. House Republicans stop an attempt to raise the coronavirus relief payment President Trump had called for. Britain and the EU claim a Brexit deal with only days remaining in their relationship. Good afternoon. I'm Joe Adler. WCBS News Time, 3:31. Christmas Day, a rainstorm packing high winds is headed our way. Overnight, 1 to 4 inches of rain may fall. Gusts may hit 60 miles an hour here in the city, more than 70 miles an hour at the shore. They'll take down trees, they may take down power lines. Thunderstorms are also possible in this, so is flooding. But it'll be a warm storm with temperature in the 60s. All of this will begin to break up about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, be gone by Christmas Day at noon, and then winter returns, and it returns quickly. The temperature will plunge to freezing by midnight and stay there Saturday. So now it's time to prepare. Get your flashlights ready, get the batteries ready. If you need to, go buy some new ones and get your radio set to WCBS News Radio 880. Tell your smart speaker if you get one for the holidays to play WCBS News Radio 880. We will track this storm and its effects for you through the night. As much as 90% of the U.S. population, 297 million Americans, may need to be vaccinated for the U.S. to achieve herd immunity against the coronavirus. That's from America's top epidemiologist, Dr. Anthony Fauci, today. Fauci's been increasing his estimates for herd immunity, he told the New York Times, because he thinks Americans are now able to handle the message that getting back to normal will take much longer than anticipated. Originally, Fauci said herd immunity would be achieved at 70 to 75% of the population. He told the Times he lowballed it at first because so many Americans were skeptical of the vaccine. Now that polls show Americans are more accepting of the vaccine, he has become more realistic in his herd immunity estimate. Measles, thought to be the most infectious disease in the world, needs a herd immunity of at least 90%. Fauci told the Times experts don't really know for sure the level of vaccination for herd immunity against coronavirus. He said, we just need to have some humility here. We really don't know what the real number is. I think the real range is somewhere between 70 to 90%. And I'm not going to say 90%. Right now, 1 million Americans have received the first of 2 vaccine doses against coronavirus. Again, they may be shooting for 297 million Americans inoculated. At 3:33 at WCBS, United Summoning travelers from the UK on United flights present proof of a negative COVID-19 test before getting on a plane bound for United hub in Newark, Chicago, Washington, D.C., or San Francisco. The new rule on United flights from London goes into effect Monday. The COVID-19 test must have been performed within 72 hours of the flight. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy applauded the move. A new, more contagious strain of coronavirus is infecting London and southern England. Despite official warnings, more of us are traveling. The number of passengers screened for flights in the U.S. topped nearly 1.2 million people Wednesday. That's the most people since the pandemic began in March. It's still 38.5% below the same Wednesday last year. Steve Burns spoke to some who were traveling at LaGuardia today.
Family's biggest concern here at LaGuardia isn't masks or social distancing. It's long lines and security. Right now, looks like that will walk through pretty smooth. Plenty of time to get to our gate. He and his wife are headed to Tulsa to see family. Just under the line where we were both able to have trips will account sheriff's deputies out enforce airports, train stations, bus depots, you name it. Fines could hit $1,000 a day for any violators. Governor Cuomo's been repeating his new mantra, which also doubled as a threat. Celebrate smart, avoid shutdowns. At LaGuardia Airport, Steve Burns, WCBS News Radio 880.
AAA is estimating 81 million Americans will be driving solo this week, and that's down by about 25% from last year. University Hospital in Newark vaccinated their staff with the new Moderna vaccine today. Mr. Kalishian has more.
The vaccine is considered a gift of hope by University Hospital President and CEO Dr. Sharif Al-Nahar, who got his dose of the Moderna vaccine Thursday morning.
I really don't feel like I have to be as afraid anymore to go out to patient units and to expose myself to others in the hospital and to come home to my family.
Early last week, the hospital administered the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine in the state. It just received 4,000 doses of the Moderna vaccine, and with more than 2,000 of its workers expected to be vaccinated overall by the end of this weekend, it exceeded the doctor's expectations for how many of those healthcare workers would opt for it in the first place.
Ultimately, I want that to cater to the community as well. Healthcare workers here are one of the most trusted voices in healthcare here in Newark and beyond. And so these are the folks who are going to be most successful in convincing the community.
Christy Kalishian, WCBS News Radio 880.
WCBS News Time 3:36. Accounting professional V.M. Cohen, CPA, a trustee of the Jewish Communal Fund, and Sephardic Beaker Holland, talks about why he uses JCF's donor-advised fund and recommends JCF to his clients.
JCF is an organization that I've worked with for many years, both personally and within my accounting practice. The ease of giving and managing my donations through their website is very effective. Using it for tax planning and managing all of my charitable giving through one place. JCF's endowment helps support Jewish organizations throughout the tri-state area, and that's very important to me and my clients.
JCF's donor-advised fund is the smarter way to give back. Let Jewish Communal Fund maximize your clients' charitable deductions and streamline their charitable giving. Since JCF handles all the administration, get started now at jcfny.org or call 212-752-8277. We have a gift for giving.
It's the holiday season. Here's hoping it puts you in a good mood for the rest of 2020 because we need it. Why not share the joy with great internet deals from Optimum? Visit Optimum.com now to get 300 meg internet for the new low price of $35 a month for 1 year. It's a risk-free deal with no annual contract, a 30-day money-back guarantee, free installation, and a $100 prepaid Visa card. Now everyone can game, stream, and share on almost new devices they'll be getting this holiday season with more bandwidth than ever. And I can still get all my weather data. Hurry to give your family even stronger holiday connections with 300 meg internet from Optimum now for just $35 a month for 1 year. Visit Optimum.com to get your share of these deals before they're gone. For new residential customers, reflects auto-pay discount. Taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. Not transferable and not available in all areas. Advertised speed for wired connection up to 300 megs. Wi-Fi speeds may vary. 90 days of continuous service required for a gift card. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery.
He does.
We sent the bill to President Trump to sign, and only then, after we agreed on a figure we thought was too low for direct payments to families and children, $600, but the Republicans would not take a higher figure. Only then did the President of the United States indicate that $600 was not enough.
The bill before the president also includes a $1.4 trillion government spending bill. If Trump vetoes the package, the government will run out of money. It'll shut down or begin shutting down December 29th. Britain and the European Union have struck a post-Brexit deal and security deal, too. Now comes the race to approve and ratify this deal before the UK leaves the EU's economic structures. That's January 1st. The British and European parliaments both must hold votes to ratify the agreement. Key aspects of the future relationship between the 27-nation bloc and its former member remain unresolved. Details of this deal are still emerging, too. Business had been hoping for a deal rather than the crash out that was going to happen at the end of the year. The new deal will create more red tape, more inspections, more paperwork. The EU is Britain's biggest trading partner. 3:41 is our time. This is WCBS.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Squid and Pfizer.
The time will come, Diana. You'll become older to be with us more.
This Christmas, it's time for PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13 in theaters and streaming exclusively on HBO Max, December 25th.
It all starts with just one thing. Be smart when operating your thermostat this winter. Lowering the temperature just a few degrees goes a long way in saving energy and money on your electric bill. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing? 342 is our time here at WCBS, and that's time for sports. A pair of NBA players who tested positive for COVID-19 since December 16th. Since they are now in self-isolation, it's not known who the players are. LeBron James said he'll be ready to go for the LA Lakers game against the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. This despite rolling his left ankle when the season opened. I'll be ready. No local NBA action tonight, but plenty tomorrow. Brooklyn Nets looking to rebuild on their open. Hosting the Sixers to offset the Celtics. The NFL finals. Next. Good news from John Carter. Looks to have turned the corner from his hamstring injury. He was moving easily on the field. Suspended for 15 days. This after he told the Canadian TV station about an outbreak of COVID-19 cases on his team. He announced appeared to break rules imposed by the Alberta Junior Hockey League, which forbids people from talking about outbreaks.
If you're the parent of a new or junior college student with senior attention challenges, do you feel like the online option is important for your child? Do these increasing cases of coronavirus make you nervous about sending your student to campus? If yes, send your student to the Bridge Experience at Landmark College. In a semester or two, they'll get the learning experience they need in the region less affected by the pandemic. Landmark's 125-acre campus in rural Vermont with a small student population promotes safety and a personalized education. For years, Landmark's Bridge Experience has helped freshmen and visiting transfer students strengthen their executive function skills and receive transfer credits. While no location is completely safe, Landmark College is open for on-campus instruction with strict safety measures to protect students, faculty, and staff. There are scholarships available. Visit landmark.edu/bridge to learn more. I'm Dr. Baker, NPR physician. If you're having no pain, swelling, or redness, don't wait. Don't wait. Take up your deep brain doctor. The heart
Fauci now estimates 90% of America may need to be vaccinated for us to have herd immunity from COVID-19. That's about 297 million Americans, and that will take much longer than originally anticipated. President Trump has pardoned more than 49 people. He's pardoned 5 people convicted in the special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. He's pardoned convicted felon congressman, and yesterday he pardoned his convicted criminal friend, Roger Stone and Charles Cushing. The former attorney Michael Cohen, who had turned against Trump. Cohen spoke with CBS News correspondent Jeff Begins.
You know, and I didn't expect one. You know, I saw a tweet by Senator Cory Booker, and I thought that Cory had summed it up perfectly when he said, and he tweeted, a pardon is supposed to be an instrument of justice, not a tool of corruption. Now, I had said this before, and I was saying that I was not interested in Trump's pardon before, but all I'm interested in now is that those sort of sentences so pure, sensitive costs, following their team and their families for decades to come. And I think what he has done here by ignoring the way the process works, by throwing a pardon office to Woodward in order to feed his needs and needs of his supporters who have done wrong to the country for so long now, for the last 4 years. This is disgraceful. This is a disgraceful Trump act. I want to see the president on the personal experience. It's not this terrible trying to get towards Victory Boulevard, the westbound ride was attacked by exit 6. So let's go over back to the Verrazano now. In Bridgewater Township, northbound 287 by Route 12 that incident drove in York County, New Jersey. Northbound Interstate Parkway exit 145 is heavy. Heavy delays on the inbound going at least 30 minutes. The Holland Tunnel heading back into Jersey City is going to be very slow as well. The local streets in Manhattan are all backed up. You're looking at least 25 to 30 minutes. Now, this year, our driver is a place to celebrate. Celebrate this season as a Lexus December to Remember sales event offering the best on January 4th. Lexus, experience today's at your local Lexus dealer and go to Lexus.com for more info. Our next time is updated in less than 10 minutes on WCBS. Lexus and WCBS.
The oxygen weather forecast. We talked about the big storm coming our way. We're going to do also stand for last week.
That's right. It's going to be very stormy on this Christmas Eve night. In the meantime, over the next 2 hours, the tri-state area will be mild. South especially west of this past month. With some periods of heavy rain, maybe even a level of thunder. And the wind will increase as well. Gusts on the order of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Could cause some power outages. Localized flooding concerns as well. Temperatures will be steady in the upper 50s. But tomorrow on Christmas Day, rain comes to an end in the morning. Then it turns windy and sharply colder. Maybe a lingering shower Christmas afternoon as temperatures fall through the 40s. Partly cloudy and cold tomorrow night, below 25. And then brisk and cold on Saturday. Clouds and sunshine, the high 32. Sunshine on Sunday, the high near 40. And then cloudy and milder on Monday. A few showers around with highs in the upper 40s. Right now, Midtown, 57 degrees and cloudy. Temperatures will
the state's intensive care units are filled. Nationally, more than 327,000 Americans were killed by COVID-19. Almost 18.5 million Americans have been infected with the virus. 352's our time at WCBS. The huge surge in online shopping during the pandemic is expected to result in a huge number of returns, twice the usual number, in fact. It could cost companies roughly $1.1 billion. This is according to Narvar. It's a software and technology company that manages online returns for hundreds of brands. China's top e-commerce company is in big trouble. Here's CBS News business reporter Jason Banks.
Alibaba is being investigated for anti-monopoly practices by Beijing, with China's top regulator saying Alibaba's policy of choose one of two requires its business partners to avoid dealing with competitors. China is also looking into whether Alibaba affiliate Ant Group violated financial rules, and that comes after Beijing last month suspended Ant's highly anticipated $37 billion IPO. Chinese regulators last month announced new rules to prevent anti-competitive behavior by internet firms, the first time Beijing has made an antitrust move against the sector. Service workers receiving hefty tips may have to share their money.
The federal government says tipped workers have to share their earnings with non-tipped employees like cooks and dishwashers. The new rules from the Labor Department also removes a requirement about how much time tipped workers spend on non-tipped work. Advocates say the move will take $700 million annually from the pockets of servers, bartenders, bellhops, and other service workers. Lisa Mateo, CBS News.
It'll be wet and warm here, but unseasonably cold in Florida. Overnight Christmas lows will be in the 30s and 40s. That's not only affecting the snowbirds, but the reptiles. You see, when there's a chill in Florida, cold-blooded creatures slow down. Oftentimes, iguanas become immobile, and they fall from the trees. The cold, though, doesn't kill them. 353's our time. Business is ahead.
I'm listening daily. You are not alone. During these challenging times, listening is fundamental to promoting understanding and healing. Here's licensed therapist Dr. Chris Donahue on dealing with how the holidays will be different.
The public health professionals are reminding us that it is safest if we stay home. So I'm urging everyone to please get comfortable and confident in having holidays different this year. Now remember, different doesn't mean